WWE did not even wish him well in his future endeavors. Thank you all for tuning in here for this special breaking news edition of NoDQ Live. Whether you're watching this live or on demand, thank you for tuning in. There's a little bit of information about Enzo's release. Apparently, Enzo did not tell WWE that he was being investigated. And that is reportedly one of the factors in WWE deciding to just cut him loose rather than wait and see how the legal process proceeds and how it plays out. Apparently nothing has changed as far as the police investigation goes from yesterday. Because of that, it seems like something else is going on here, that Enzo kept this a secret from WWE, and that's why they decided to fire him. Rift Aronson, who's apparently alive, just sent in a $2 super chat donation. Enzo to TNA. I don't think Impact Wrestling will sign him. This could very well be the end of Enzo's career. Even if he's cleared of this, it's still going to damage his reputation as far as getting work goes in the future. TJS says, does this mean Neville will be back? It's funny because I would not be surprised if WWE makes a phone call to Neville and tries to work something out with him to get people to forget about Enzo. What happens to the Cruiserweight division now? This is a huge blow to the Cruiserweight division because they've already been struggling. 205 Live hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire. Neville left. Rich Swann was suspended. Other people have gotten injured. And it feels like 205 Live had no momentum, and now this happens. The Cruiserweight champion is accused of rape and then is fired the very next day after the accusations become public. Amarillo 008 says Ricochet will rise. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, what do you guys think WWE should do? Do you think they should make a big money offer to bring back Neville? Do you think somebody like Ricochet should come right out of the gate and get a big push? Tony H says Big Cass now has no choice but to have his singles push go good, or he's gone too. Yeah, this could potentially, I mean, this definitely has a ripple effect on people in WWE, because you have Nia Jax, who was part of this storyline with Enzo. That's pretty much done. I mean, it is done. That storyline is completely finished now that Enzo is released. Where does that leave Nia Jax? I mean, I feel like she can just ease her way back into... She can ease her way back into the women's division. She was part of the 8-woman tag team match on Raw. She might be okay, but what happens to Big Cass when he returns? People associate Big Cass with Enzo. And unfortunately, this could tarnish Big Cass because people think of Enzo when they think of Big Cass. And plus, there was all this talk about Enzo and Cass being reunited and Enzo being the manager / mouthpiece for Big Cass. A lot of people feel like Big Cass needs Enzo as far as the mic work goes to get him over. So this could affect Big Cass as well when he comes back. He's in a tough spot now. I mean, there's definitely going to be a ripple effect. People in the chat room asking me about the title and where this stands. By the way, Barack Trump with a avatar of Obama's face superimposed on George W. Bush. There you go. Cruiserweight Battle Royal at the Royal Rumble pre-show. The last thing the Cruiserweight title needs is being relegated to the pre-show. It needs all the help it can get right now. So it's really interesting to see what WWE does. I mean, they need to do something big to really revive the Cruiserweight division and get people forgetting about Enzo. So do you bring back a name from the past? Do you reach out to Neville, try to make a big money offer to bring him back? Should WWE bring back Rey Mysterio, try to work something out with him? A lot of people in the chat room are suggesting Rey Mysterio may be bringing him back to the company. Snipe Rider says send the Cruiserweights to NXT. Or do you guys just feel like the Cruiserweight division is dead? Do you feel like there's no hope for it, that it's pretty much, it's so tarnished now and it's cursed that WWE should just give up on it? What do you guys think? Do you think there's any hope left for the Cruiserweight division? Let me know in the chat room. Chase Ennis says it's dead and will stay dead. Somebody in here suggested the UK division becomes part of 205 Live. Nick Glavin just sent in a $5 super chat donation. No comment. Feel free to send me a comment, Nick, or a question. I would be happy to answer it for you. Tony H says the last 3 champs have gone suspended, walked out, fired if I'm right. I think so. I mean, we had Neville walk out. We had Rich Swann get suspended. We had Enzo get fired. I believe there was an injury to somebody. Brian Kendrick got hurt, even though he wasn't the champion. It just feels like every person that's been Cruiserweight champion has had something happen, whether it was his own doing or just an injury or whatever. Kalisto was gone for a bit. Kalisto's back now, but I don't think WWE is going to put the title on Kalisto. Austin Aries, let's not forget about Austin Aries. He was not the Cruiserweight champion, but he was being pushed, and now he's gone. By the way, we have 330 people watching live, so thank you guys for tuning into this breaking news edition of NoDQ Live. Check out NoDQ.com. I have a link in the description box with a lot of details about Enzo's release, what's out there. Right now, the belief is that WWE decided to cut him loose because he did not inform the company of these allegations when he knew about them months ago. And that's why WWE decided he's not worth the bad publicity and decided to cut him loose rather than give him due process and see how the legal situation plays out, because nothing has changed. According to the Phoenix Police Department, nothing has changed in the investigation since yesterday. So why would WWE suspend him one day and then the next day cut him? They must have just decided that he was deceiving the company and he's not worth keeping around, despite being given that opportunity to be innocent until proven guilty. And some people are comparing this to Roman Reigns and Rich Swann. Keep in mind, okay, with Roman Reigns, the police are not investigating Reigns for steroid usage. So unless the police are investigating something, WWE is not going to take action against Reigns. And as far as Rich Swann goes, that was an incident that happened. It quickly became public knowledge. It wasn't something where months were going by and there was some kind of incident and Swann was not telling WWE about what was going on. It was a situation that escalated very quickly. He was arrested. It became public. WWE suspended him, and that was that. So it is a different circumstance compared to what's going on with Enzo Amore. And as Sean says, people need to stop comparing this to Roman. Yeah, because the police are not investigating Reigns. They made that clear that they're going after the people that are distributing steroids, not people that are being accused of being customers. Jeff says Enzo chose to not say anything to WWE. Now he is paying for it. I mean, if you're in WWE shoes and a guy was being accused of rape and he knew about this and he's not telling you, you would do the same thing. I think any rational person would understand that you shouldn't do this. If you're working for a company and you're being accused of a serious crime, you tell them what's going on. You don't keep it a secret. So he pretty much shot himself in the foot for not informing WWE about this. But again, this is an ongoing breaking story. There might be another NoDQ Live breaking news video coming up soon. So stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. Check out the link in the description box. And we got SmackDown Live, so I will be back again tonight with another video. 4 NoDQ Live videos in 2 days. This has been a crazy week. And we'll see what happens with the Cruiserweight division. We have 205 Live tonight. I will be doing No DQ Live head-to-head with the Mixed Match Challenge in 205. But I am curious. I mean, for the first time in months, I'm curious to see what WWE does on 205 Live. Last night on Raw, there was no mention of the Cruiserweight division on television. They had a couple of Cruiserweight matches at the Manhattan Center, but other than that, there was nothing. Tommy says you wore that shirt yesterday. No, I wore the Roddy Piper t-shirt because I hit myself in the head with a steel chair yesterday wearing the Roddy Piper t-shirt. I'm wearing this shirt today because of the sign at Raw yesterday, Memba Pyro. That was my favorite sign on the entire show. TJS says prank Dairy Queen again for 400 views. Yeah, I could do that, but I'm not that desperate for views to prank Dairy Queen. I like Dairy Queen. House of Knives says Enzo ends up champion and they give Enzo the Benoit treatment. Well, actually, WWE has already deleted Enzo from their website, the 205 Live page, and also Enzo's WWE.com profile has been deleted. So they've already erased him. He's gone. No more mentioning of Enzo. And that's it. Enzo's career in WWE was not long enough to where I think it's really going to lead to backlash from fans saying, hey, he was a big part of the company. You know, he was a rising star, but, you know, he's gone now. And he was only there a couple of years. So I think, Enzo's going to be a footnote in WWE history. The only way I could see things potentially changing is if Enzo is cleared of all charges and if Enzo potentially sued for wrongful termination. That's the only way I could see Enzo possibly being back in WWE someday, but it's not looking good. It's definitely not looking good for him. The news just keeps getting worse and worse for him with each passing hour, it seems. Enzo is horrible, cringeworthy. I know some people feel like he's not that entertaining. He's a polarizing guy. He's been a polarizing guy in WWE. But the fact is, if the guy's like this in real life, you know, and doesn't know how to separate the character from the person, then he's got a real problem. You know, for a while I was wondering, okay, is this guy really like this in real life, or is he just playing a character? It's one thing if you're playing a character, but if you're like this in real life, you know, you got a real problem, and maybe you need to, maybe you need some help, and he might need more than help at this point if he's guilty of these charges. I mean, he should be in jail. If he's guilty of what he's being accused of, he absolutely should be in jail. There's no excuse, and he should not get any special treatment because he's a public figure. Vince McMahon just left a $5 super chat donation. Could Enzo work with Cody if not convicted? That's the thing. Even if he's cleared of these charges, it's still going to damage his reputation. And I don't think people are going to be jumping at the opportunity to use him. They don't want the bad publicity, even if he's cleared. I mean, it would need to be completely cleared to the point where, you know, he's filing a lawsuit for wrongful termination, and, you know, it would have to be very much cleared up for him. And even then, it might take a while before people feel comfortable. But then again, it's the wrestling business, and, you know, WWE hired Mike Tyson, who was a convicted rapist. Mike Tyson was convicted and served time for rape. Yet WWE did, in fact, use him and put him in the Hall of Fame. So nothing can be ruled out in the world of professional wrestling. It's a very strange business. By the way, No Holds Barred News and Media sent in a $10 super chat donation. What about Hideo Itami and Cedric Alexander? Why not make that the title match at the Rumble? Maybe throw in Ricochet or Tyler Bate, someone else to possibly give the division some new flair. Yeah, I like that idea. I actually think I would like to see something like a fatal four-way. Maybe use Cedric Alexander. Like WWE could say we're going to put in the two best contenders at 205 Live, and then one contender from NXT and one contender from the UK division, and just put them all in there in one big match, and just create some hype and let these guys have a great cruiserweight match on pay-per-view to reestablish the title. So I like that idea. I think you need more than just a Tommy versus Cedric Alexander. I feel like you should add a few more people. Maybe bring in Eric Young from NXT, or Rockstar Spud. You know, there's been talk about Rockstar Spud coming in. He's been at the Performance Center. Maybe bring in Rockstar Spud as a surprise. He would get a pop in Philadelphia, I think. I think enough fans would realize who he is. Or you could bring in Eric Young, and then maybe even Tyler Bate, or how about Jexy's favorite, Pete Dunne? Bring in Pete Dunne into the match. Maybe even unify. You know, I feel like the UK title, it's only going to go so far. WWE could just unify the Cruiserweight and UK title and just make it one title. Actually, it's funny. Right as I mentioned this, Vince McMahon, not WWE's Vince McMahon, he left a $2 super chat donation and said, could WWE unify the Cruiserweight and UK title? I would be fine with this, and I feel like at this point, WWE might as well do it. You know, the UK title, like I said, is only going to go so far, and you can generate a headline. I think WWE needs to get people away from Enzo Amore, get people thinking about something else, change it up, and go in a different direction, and just create some headlines, create some new headlines, like shake things up with the Cruiserweight division, and bring in Pete Dunne and bring in some new blood into the Cruiserweight division. But anyways, guys, I will go ahead and wrap up this breaking news video. I will be back tonight after SmackDown Live. Please spread the word. Tell a friend about NoDQ Live. I will be doing this around 10:15 Eastern Time, 7:15 Pacific. I will be having the Mixed Match Challenge on in the background, so I will comment on it in progress, maybe do a little bit of play-by-play. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys tonight for another edition of NoDQ Live.